Welcome, yogis. Today we're going to be looking at the lung and large intestine meridian line, and we'll be picking a pose from each of the meridian lines today to work with. Let me tell you a little bit about where those meridian lines sit in the body. So when you're in each of the shapes, you have an awareness of where that meridian line travels in the body so that you're becoming a little bit more familiar with it. So when we think about the lung meridian line, it starts in the center of the body near to its own organ, and it travels down the inside line of the arm to the hand. Okay, so it's a yin meridian line that runs along the inside of the arm, starting in the center of the body. And then its partner organ, which is a yang meridian line, is working its way along the back side of the body, all the way through to the back of the shoulder. It comes across to the back of the neck and then travels along the side of the neck here and across the top of the lip over towards the top corner of the opposite eye. So it's running on the back side of the arm, and the lung meridian line, its partner, is running on the inside of the arm. So the first shape that we're going to come to today is the open wing shape. Okay, so running with the lung meridian line on the inside of the arm. So let me show you how to get into the first shape. We're going to bring ourselves down onto our forearms, moving ourselves over to the top right corner of the mat. Okay, and then you're reaching your left arm out so that it's parallel with the top of the mat and then lying on the inside line of it. So the palm of the hand is resting on the ground here. And then you're going to slowly roll yourself onto the left side of your body, bending the right knee and placing the foot behind the left leg onto the ground here. If that's not accessible for you, then you can bend both of the knees, resting them on top of each other here instead. Otherwise, coming into this position here. Now you can keep the right hand in front of you on the ground, or you can take a bend in the elbow and place it gently behind your back. Or some of you might like to reach the arm in a non-active way towards the other hand here. So you'll find a position that feels best for you. And then gently resting the side of the head down to the mat. If you need a little cushion or support for your head, then feel free to grab a little cushion or perhaps a folded up blanket. And then take a moment or two to settle in. And slowly begin to let the eyes start to close. And as you close your eyes, allowing there to be a softness in between the eyebrows and around the corners of the eyes here. And taking a moment to relax the tongue away from the roof of the mouth if you happen to find it there. Noticing if there are any areas in the body that you start to become aware of a little more sensation. Whether that be a feeling of release or resistance here. Allowing the breath to slowly start to find a deeper rhythm. As you settle more easily into that place of simply being here. In Chinese medicine, the lung is the receiver, or the first place that receives the energy from the outside world. The meeting point between the outer landscape and our inner landscape. And it's thought that the quality of the breath that we take in from the outside world dictates the quality of the energy and health of the other organs inside of us. Take a moment to notice how much easier it is for you to breathe in a more deeper and complete fashion as you start to welcome these moments of stillness, of simply being. Let's take 3 more breaths here on this first side. When you finish your own third breath, just slowly beginning to place the right hand back down to the mat. Gently straightening out the right leg and rolling yourself onto your belly. And taking a moment to bring that left arm back into center and either making a pillow with your arms for your forehead to rest onto, or turning now to rest on the right side of your head as you bring the arms to rest alongside the body, just pausing for a moment. And using these moments in between the sides, just notice any subtle similarities or differences between the two sides. A moment to pause and reflect on any sensations that you might be feeling, a shifting of energy in between the poses. And then when you feel ready, just slowly bringing yourself back up to that upright position, moving yourself over now to the top left corner of your mat. Reaching the right arm out to the right side of the room, palm facing down. So you're lying on the inside line of the arm, rolling onto the right side of the body. Bringing a little bend into the left knee and the foot landing behind the right leg. And remember, you can bend the knees and stack them on top of each other if you need to. Left hand either staying in front of the chest, a little bend in the elbow behind the back, or gentle reaching towards the ground. Making sure the head is supported. And then once you've made all of those little adjustments, just slowly beginning to settle back into this place of simply surrendering to the stillness, to the moment that we find ourselves in. It's thought that in Chinese medicine, when the lungs are in balance, we feel this awareness of our courage, our inner strength. And yet when things are out of balance, we can be easily overwhelmed by grief or sadness or this feeling of loss, feeling off center. When we take time to create this spaciousness for the chi to run more freely through the body, in the areas that we looked at a little earlier in the class, and we create this sense of abundance, this sense of ease and balance internally. So as you move into the rest of your day, just taking time to be consciously aware of how you're breathing, the quality of the breath. Noticing perhaps as and when the breath might start to shorten and become a little more shallow, how you can find yourself moving towards this deeper rhythm of breathing, this place in which you start to draw more valuable energy inside of you, a calmer state of mind arriving as a direct consequence of that. And taking 3 more breaths on this second side. And when the third breath is complete for you, placing the left hand back down onto the mat as you straighten out the left leg, beginning that journey back to center as you roll onto your belly. Again, either making that pillow with your arms for your head to rest on, or now turning to the left side of your head and allowing the shoulders and the arms to just relax down alongside your body. And just pausing for a moment to notice how it feels now that we've invited a little more balance between the two sides of the body. And slowly starting to use your hands to push the ground away, lifting you back up to a comfortable seat. The second shape that we'll come to now is focusing in particular along the back of the arms. We draw our attention now to the large intestine meridian line. So we're coming into a shape that we call rolling panda. So that begins with us on our hands and knees in a tabletop position. And I'm going to begin by taking my left leg out to the side of the room, taking my right arm and weaving it through as far as I can over to the side of the mat here. Now, if this doesn't feel manageable or you feel like you might roll to the side, feel free to return the left foot down to the ground. Otherwise, leg stays extended here. And then option for left hand to stay on the mat here, or you can take the arm up behind you and rest the hand somewhere towards the right side of the waist, or perhaps even a light grip of the right inner thigh. So go ahead and take a moment to set yourself up in this position. And remember, you have the option of leg extended or knee resting to the earth. And once you're settled into the shape, just slowly beginning to close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, just beginning to notice how this feels as a shape in itself. And the direction of gravity drawing us down into the back line of the arm here, with the hips a little higher than the heart and the head. Noticing where you can soften, where you can find a little more ease with your shape here. Some of you are struggling with this position, then you can lower your knees entirely to the ground, coming into a wide knee child's pose here instead. The same upper body position, just decreasing that position of gravity. Some of you might begin to feel like you can start to move the arm a little bit further over here as the space around the spine begins to increase. Feel free to make any little changes that suit your body at this time. Notice where your attention goes when you're in these shapes. If the mind is able to stay present, if you're able to maintain that steady flow of calm, relaxed breathing. Let's take another 3 rounds of breath just like this. And when the 3rd round finishes for you, let's slowly release the left hand back down to the mat. Pushing into the ground as we bring ourselves back to our hands and knees. And just taking a moment to sit on the knees in an upright position here with our eyes closed. And just taking a moment to notice how we're doing. Noticing this feeling of having worked into that back line of the arm and the shoulder. Little work around the side of the neck and the head here as well. When you feel ready, let's move our way into the second side. So coming once again onto our hands and our knees. And then Taking the right leg this time over to the side of the room, weaving the left arm through as far as we can, coming down to rest on the left side of the head and shoulder here. And remember, you have the option to bend the knee and place it back down to the ground if this feels precarious in any way. And then you can also take that right arm up to the sky behind you, bending the elbow, letting the hand reach towards the left side of the waist or maybe left inner thigh here. And just taking some time to tune in and make any small adjustments that you need to. Remember, a nice alternative would be to come into a wide knee child's pose with the same position in the upper body. And some of you might notice some subtle differences or similarities between the first and second side. Take that information and just pop it to one side for the moment as you come back to noticing the breath. You mentioned before that the large intestine is the yang meridian line in the partnership between the lungs and the large intestine. And the yang organs are our eliminating organs. And we can think about this as when we have a blockage in the large intestine meridian line, when there's a slower flow of energy. It means that things are going to be a little sluggish in terms of leaving the body, toxins that we need to move on out of our system. When we keep this line in balance, we keep ourselves in this state of flowing, this ability to draw energy in, and this ability to let go of energy when we need to. And finding that perfect balance between knowing when to hold on and when to let go in our day-to-day lives and emotions as well. Let's take 3 more breaths in. And when the 3rd breath is finished, releasing right hand back down to the earth, pushing the ground away to release the hands and legs, and then just slowly from here, making your way onto your back. Using a cushion behind your knees or any extra support that you need as we come into our final resting pose here, Shavasana. Letting the arms rest wherever feels most relaxed for you. And softening the muscles around the eyes, the mouth, the jaw, the neck. As you come into this place of simply just surrendering. And starting to bring some subtle movements back into the fingers and the toes. And reaching the arms gently up overhead, inviting a nice full body stretch. Drawing the knees gently towards the chest, giving them a hug. As you slowly roll over to rest on the left side of your body. And then keeping your eyes closed, using your hands to gently push the ground away as you lift yourself up to a comfortable seat. And just taking a moment to pause, to check in, to notice how you're feeling. And let's see if we can carry this feeling of spaciousness, this feeling of calmness and slowing down with us into the rest of our day. Bring the hands together at heart center. Bowing our head to our hands in gratitude for the practice, in gratitude for our health. Namaste.